Hello, true believers. Welcome to my channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and today we have 5 more undervalued comic books for us to take a look at. All right, so let's get this out of the way. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. It's Nagasonic, not Nagasaki. That was the last video. I made a mistake like that. I must have just been thinking about the Japanese city or whatever. I didn't catch it until someone pointed out to me in the premiere. Pretty funny. I mean, I make mistakes like that all the time. It'll happen again, I guarantee you. Uh, I give everybody carte blanche to go ahead and make fun of me in the comments if I make mistakes like that. It doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of funny. But yeah, you know that's just YouTube amateur videography and filming and stuff that make mistakes. Go ahead, make fun of me. It'll just make me laugh and help me improve what I'm doing. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of new subscribers. If you're kind of unfamiliar with how my channel works, we do deep spec, right? So we're picking books that are cheap, right? At the time we're specking on them. I'm just gonna throw up a few of the examples that we've spec'd on over the years. Um, Lots of times you're gonna have to hold on to the books that we spec on uh, for a while. The books I'm showing you here, they've been in my collection for a while. I spec'd on them on my channel a while back, before they all got hot. You know what I mean? That's the kind of spec we do here. You may have to hold on to those kind of books, uh, you know, in a collection for a while before you see any realization. But the idea is to get them while they're cheap, right? Rather than get them while they're spiking, right? We already have these books in our collection. If we only paid a few bucks for it, that's great if they jump up. If they don't, and like I said, it's deep spec. They might not. Uh, that's okay too because we paid a cheap price for it. It's not really hurting us too much. If the $5 comic that we bought only ever is worth $5, at least you got a $5 comic, right? You didn't FOMO it and buy it when it spiked up to $45 and then have it come back down and you end up losing your money on that one, having it go back down to a $5 comic. And I wanted to show you this one. This was one we spec'd on a couple years ago. It has definitely jumped up in price in a big way. Um, Probably 5, 6 times the price that I originally paid for this book. Uh, Again, I was bringing it up because we know that Kevin Feige has, when he's asked about characters he'd like to see in the MCU, specifically you'd mentioned Kazar twice. There's been rumors of a Savage Land movie in development, and now they are talking. Disney is shopping out there to find crew and uh, company to work on a dinosaur property, right? The success of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, Disney obviously wants to get in there and get some of that sweet dinosaur money. So they're shopping to do some sort of CGI project for the MCU with dinosaurs. Well, the only place that I think, in Earth 616 in the Marvel Universe where dinosaurs really live and exist is here in the Savage Land, right? So again, good chance we're going to see Kazar and Sabu, the Savage Land, all that kind of stuff. Maybe in a few years we're going to see some kind of announcement to it. There's stuff on the slate that there's unknown Marvel projects that they're holding a spot. It doesn't necessarily mean they have a movie in mind for that particular spot. They're just trying to hold a spot in the schedule of release. Um, but yeah, I think that this book is probably in this condition has probably gone up to about 150, maybe even a little more than that. And if there's a Savage Land movie or something that ties in with dinosaurs and the Savage Land and Kazar, expect to see this book really take a jump. Um, but yeah, that's how it works here. We're gonna show you some cheap comics that you can dig up, find for cheap, and hopefully they will end up turning out to be a hot book later down the line. Enough of me talking. Let's get started on some our spec comics. So first on my list, it comes from 2018, and I like to bring it up because speaking of dinosaurs, this book is from 2018, and it has the first appearance of a villain in it. What I would spec to be probably the antagonist in the Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur property that's going to come out. And her first appearance is in 2018, Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 32. Tough to get that one out. Anyway, this is the first appearance of a character you can see right down there named Princess Fisk, who is the Kingpin's daughter. Right, I think it's pretty likely that she will be the antagonist. She was the antagonist in a lot of this book. I know kids' books and cartoons and stuff tend not to uh, have as big an effect on the comic book market. It is, of course, a big cinematic MCU movie, but you can see here I found that guy for $5. This is the second print variant on this one. There is a first print variant where she is on the steps of, I don't know, some building, courthouse or something, and with her dad. Yeah, so if you wanted to grab a first print, I'll probably try and dig around and find a first print. Second print also sells for relatively the same money. I've seen a whole bunch of, like, I went on eBay and I saw a whole bunch of this book listed for stupid money. Don't pay that. Don't pay that. All right. I think a pretty reasonable price for this book right now is about 30 to 40 bucks. And if you look in the solds of eBay, I've seen that, right? It's one of those books you could probably just dig it out. Not everybody's knowing about this book. Not everybody's specking on this book yet. The or Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur property is still a ways out. But yeah, I like this as a spec because it's a high probability that Princess Fisk will be the antagonist there. Anyways, from 2018, it is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 13, first appearance of Princess Fisk. Possible antagonist for the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur property. Hopefully you can dig one up for a cheap price. Otherwise, look to pay around the $30 to $40 mark would be pretty reasonable price. You got to do your shopping a little bit on that one. Don't FOMO on it. Lots of time to buy that book. So number 2 on our list. This book comes from 1982. So there's been some talk about movement forward on this property, getting a movie. It would be a soft reboot, but more like supposedly more like a number 2 rather than a full reboot of the movie. And it comes from, like I said, 1982, and it is PC Comics Star Slayer number 2, first appearance of the Rocketeer. Now the Rocketeer, like I said, it has sort of a soft reboot where they go ahead into the future. And the original Rocketeer has gotten old, and he's going to pass the torch on to a new Rocketeer. And it sort of takes place in the Cold War era, is my understanding. I mean, things can change by the time they actually start filming or whatever, but that's what's been leaked as a rumor for it. I think that's cool. I do like the original 90s movie. It was, it's highly underrated in my opinion. Bit of a flop at the box office, but saw more of a cult following and new life on video. It was quite a hit, and yeah, I'd like to see a number 2 of that, reboot of that movie, and a number 2, a continuation of the story. Rocketeer is quite cool. Recent sales of this book, put it in somewhere around the $25 to $30 mark for a very fine near mint copy. There's other copies on there that go for around $10 if you just want to pick up a mid-grade copy. Yeah, I think once people kind of get more production news, maybe a trailer and stuff, that this book is definitely going to see a jump. Now, the original Rocketeer is probably not going to be the main focus of the movie. It'll be the new Rocketeer, but he will be in there, and this is the first appearance of the Rocketeer. So, from 1982, it is Star Slayer number 2, first appearance of the Rocketeer. Look to pay $25-30 for this guy now. All right. The next book on our list, it comes from 1984. All right. Well, this first one will come from 1983, but the one we're kind of specking on is 1984. And it has the first appearance of a character. I think people would be, smart to grab a copy of this one while it's super cheap. This comes from, let's do this one first, in 1984, and it is Alpha Flight number 14. And number 14 has the first appearance of Elizabeth Two Young Men, or Talisman. She has the ability to tap into the spirit world, use magic, uh, influence, different spirits and stuff like that. Her very first appearance, I guess, can be spec'd on as Alpha Flight number 5 from 1983, but she was just a baby in this one, so it was more of a cameo baby appearance, much like, that first baby cameo of Cable. So I don't really see this one jumping up in much as value as this one is. This is her first adult appearance, where she becomes the Talisman, or partial origin of how she becomes a Talisman. Anyway, uh, definitely one of those characters that fits a lot of the narrative of what's happening with these, MCU movies. Girl, she's indigenous, right? So, ties all into that magic. They're trying to bring in more and more magic stuff. So, I could see Elizabeth Two Young Men showing up if they ever did put Alpha Flight in something. I doubt there would be an Alpha Flight movie. However, there would probably they might show up just as a Canadian team, right? I can see the MCU quite expanding out a lot of stuff. Right now, everything seems to be like really centered on New York. Of course, with the Avengers, Spider-Man, all that stuff. I can see them wanting to expand out, say, hey, there's like superheroes all over the place. Obviously, with Black Widow being in Russia, that's already happening. So they're probably going to, try and make the MCU worldwide, as it were, right? Anyways, I like Elizabeth Two Young Man as a character that may show up in that kind of thing, just because of all the different check boxes that she clicks on. And yeah, her first adult appearance and first full appearance would be here in Alpha Flight, number 14 from 1984. You can grab her baby appearance as well. This book is a dollar bin, baby. Look to pay somewhere around $1 to $5 for both of these. Nice mint condition ones if you can find them. Well, this is a Canadian price variant. See there? Ooh, yes. Not a big deal. Anyway, yeah, I like her as a pick. Anyway, like I said, look to pay $2 to $5 for that guy. So this one goes under the radar, and it kind of surprises me a little bit because there has been some talk about this, and I think it continues to kind of bring up, and it comes from 1986. Right, we're sticking with the 80s for a while, and it is Webb of Spiderman number 19. And I'm not talking about Humbug. I'm talking about this guy here, right? A character by the name of Solo. And apparently Sony wants to make a Solo movie. Not like Han Solo, but this guy Solo. He's sort of a Jason Bourne kind of character that can teleport. Highly combat, highly skilled in hand-to-hand combat espionage kind of guy. I think it'd be kind of a cool movie to see. I mean, Sony goes, they're going a little wacky with the characters they can do. I mean, they're allowed to take any character that had their first appearance in a Spider-Man book. I think that's part of the deal that there was. So that definitely character Solo falls in under that. Um, Never mind about Humbug. I can't really see Humbug, making any sort of big splash into the movie world, but definitely, this guy like I said, really flying under the radar since uh, Sony is quite has been rumored about this for a while that they were going to do Solo and they were going to do Manwolf, right? So the Manwolf book took off when they did that, but this book seemed like nobody even paid any attention to it at all. Still can find this book for the $5 to $10 range. Um, if there's more news about it, if this is not just like some sort of far-fetched rumor, and which there was quite a few sources that were quoting on this, so I don't think it's that far-fetched that we may see a Solo movie, right? And yeah, I'd look to see this book take off once that happens, off the $5 mark. That's for sure. I know I paid $5 for this one. Anyway, yeah. So with a movie, like maybe a whole cinematic universe movie right behind this character, yeah, for $5 to $10, I think this is a steal. And again, it's from 1986, and it is Web of Spider-Man number 19. Yeah, hopefully we'll hear some more news about that kind of stuff, right? But now that restrictions are lifting and movie studios are starting to get back to normal, or at least they have their plans, their how to prevent COVID spread, and they're doing things normally again. All right. So let's go all the way up to 1987. Right. So we, all you Copper Age collectors, Bronze Age collectors, are gonna love it today. Anyway, this has been confirmed, and this book's still going under the radar here. And it comes from 1987, like I said, and it is Transformers number 25. First appearance of the Predacons. Predacons are confirmed to be in the next Transformers, which is Transformers Beast Wars. This is the first appearance of Razor Claw, Die Bomb, Tantum, Headstrong, Rampage, and together they form the Predaking. Right, so hopefully Predaking will be in there. Hopefully they do it right. I think they want to stick more closer to these original looking characters than what Michael Bay did with the Transformers. I'm not saying those first movies were good or weren't good. Uh, you know, they had their problems, but it was still cool to see live action Transformers, man. So they're gonna keep going with their Transformers franchise, of course, making all those Transformers dollars, do re mi's. And yeah, so the next one, a Beast War, is going to be, yeah, or the next Transformers movie is going to be Beast Wars. And I think when you're looking at it, I think this Transformers number 25 is the only one of the original 80s run that shows any of the characters showing up. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure, but I think this is the only one, right? Which is the Predacons. The other characters that are in that movie show up in different IDW books and stuff. So have to track those down on your own. Anyways, so from 1987, Transformers number 25. Look to pay $10 to $15 max for this book, right? Still way under the radar, but I think if we ever get like a trailer or something that shows the Predaking, that this book could definitely take a jump. All right. So that's been our 5 books for today. Really appreciate everybody watching and listening to me babble on a little bit about whatever I've been babbling on this whole time. And yeah, if you haven't liked or subscribed, I really, really appreciate it. It really helps me out to have people. Plus, if you subscribe, you won't miss any of the videos that are coming up. We'll continue to bring up our 5 undervalued every couple weeks. And yeah, hopefully you can go out there, find a few of these books, add them to your collection, and have a bunch of them jump up in price in the next while. Anyways, this has been Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and just reminding you, Wednesdays are new comic book days, but every day is old comic book day. I'll see you next video.